I wonder what it means.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a science guy. This is just like Chinese to me.
Right?
Can't read it.
Dude, Chinese is like the hardest language, I think, to learn.
Honestly, like, I tried to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
Took it for like 2 years in high school.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
No.
Nope. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't either. I took it like, does your schools like make it so all of middle school and elementary school, like you had to learn Spanish?
Yeah, the whole way through.
We did the same thing, and I get to middle school, my teacher like gave up on me. It was kind of sad. Like we would skip over, like she'd go ask questions to each person in the class, and when it came to me, she would just skip me because she knew I didn't know the answer.
Dude, I could never pick it up. Like I tried, and like for years just could never understand just even the basic concepts. So I switched, and like sophomore year of high school, I started taking sign language.
Sign language?
So much fun.
They offer that?
Yeah,
That's
they offer
sick.
it. Yeah, and I have a cousin who's deaf who knows sign language. So like I was like, this is gonna be cool. Like let me take it, and I could like talk to him, and like
can you do any sign stuff?
I can spell my name.
That's pretty cool.
E-V-A-N. Yeah.
Evan.
I know.
So wait, so how does sign language work? Is it you do each letter, or is it like words?
It's different. So like, there is an alphabet, and you can obviously you can just spell things out if you want, but there's signs for like different things. Like, I'm gonna see if I can think of one off the top of my head. Like flag is like this, so you have to like spell it out. Like some of it's like actually like so basic.
Yeah.
Like some of the signs are like, oh, like that's actually the sign for it.
Yeah, because this looks like a flag.
It literally looks like a flag. Yeah. So yeah, I mean like it was pretty basic, and it was like I took it for like 3 years.
That's pretty interesting. I feel like that's a good way of like communicating. Whoever came up with that.
No, it like really is cool.
But I took like after middle school, I couldn't do Spanish anymore either. So I dropped it and started taking Latin.
I feel like that's just so much worse.
Dude, but I'm like, I could either go along with Spanish and just get completely, I don't want to say butt raped, but just dominated from this language. Or I could switch because like my school didn't really offer that many different languages.
Right.
And I'm like, or I could take Latin, just a new language.
Is it easier for you?
At the beginning.
Yeah.
And like, so that was the thing. I took it all 4 years. The first year was so easy because it was like, oh, Jaime, or not Jaime, I was Publius. So Publius Canum Habet, which was James has a dog. And we would just go around for saying it for everyone.
Yeah.
And it was so easy the first year. And then the second year it got a little harder, and we had to start learning declensions and stuff. I'm like, oh, jeez, this is hard. And then third year, it's even harder. And fourth year, I'm like, I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then, like, but it was so much fun because I loved our teachers. I feel like, yeah, they're great, and the kids in the class were just like hooligans. Yeah. So it's just so much fun.
I know. I just switched into CRS.
As a major?
As a major this semester. And they require 1 semester of language. So I held off. I didn't take it this semester, but like, I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, no. What are you going to take, Spanish?
Probably Spanish.
Yeah.
Just give one more shot, Spanish 101.
Yeah.
Probably won't be too bad.
That's what I try to do, because we had to do 2 semesters of a language too. Also, can you move your mic so it gets it from the top?
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, actually, pull it away from you. I was giving you bad advice at the beginning.
There and like there?
Yeah, and then up a little bit. You see how mine's like, because it only picks up audio. Yeah.
Is that good? Yeah. Right there.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I think so. Yeah, because we have to do 2 semesters of a language, and I'm like, I can't do Latin again.
No, dude.
And then I took Spanish 101, and I'm like, all right, the beginning's easy, and then at the end I'm like, I can't do a second semester. So I switched to Latin 101.
Right.
And the 4 years of my high school Latin were crammed into 1 semester.
Oh, jeez.
And it was like my worst grade.
Yeah. No, I can't blame you. I'm gonna take Spanish next year.
Yeah.
Just try and pick up on the basic concepts now that I'm like older and just like more like dedicated to school, because like high school I really wasn't. Yeah, we'll see where that takes me.
It's a lot of effort though.
No, it really
like
is.
Learning any language, like they say when you're young, you could just like pick it up, I don't know, easier, I guess.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like I know like a bunch of my friends grew up, I have one friend who grew up speaking Spanish. Both of his grandparents are from Peru. So like he speaks it like, he grew up on it. And like speaks it so well and like so clear and fluent. So like, I think that's how you pick up a language. You gotta start young.
They always say like, there's this story I always hear. This like kid watched a lot of Peppa Pig when they were growing up.
Yeah.
And they just like formed a British accent. They were like American.
What?
And then when they grew up, they had like a Peppa Pig, like, I can't do a British accent, but like a British accent growing up.
That
Just
is
because they watched
wild.
it so much.
Jeez.
It's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. Is condone the right word? Is that like, not? I praise
Yeah.
people that can like learn so many different languages because it's so difficult and we're so like stupid as Americans. Like,
Right.
we only know English.
I know. But again, like, I feel like you have to pick up on it early.
Yeah.
Like, to be fluent and, like, clear, yeah, you definitely have to pick up on it early.
We missed it late. But what were you before CRS?
CRS, I was so I kind of bounced around. So I came into Syracuse, fall undecided. Thought about sports management, wasn't sold on it. Kind of missed the deadline to like apply for it, and I was like, I still didn't know what I want to do, and I still really don't.
Yeah.
So I had to declare something. So I declared for psychology, like just to have a major. Kind of just took. I didn't even take classes that were required for it. I kind of just took classes like in different subjects to see like what do I want to do.
Yeah.
And I took like 2 CRS classes before I declared. And like I love public speaking and like I love talking to a crowd and like especially talking about stuff that like I'm knowledgeable on. Like I love just like talking about it. So I was like, you know what, let me do this because it's kind of a broad major, and like there's no like one direction you can go in. So I was like, you know what, like let me do this, and you know, I feel like public speaking is like such a big thing, and being like having great interpersonal skills and communication skills, and I feel like that'll just take you to wherever you want to be.
Yeah, you could really do. Oh jeez, this sickness.
Oh god.
This is it's just cold outside.
Yeah.
But this I mean, I think that's great. Like being able to communicate with people, I feel like it's the most important thing. Like you could really use that in any circumstances. I also think it's kind of crazy how you come into college and then you're supposed to know what you want to do. You know?
Yeah.
We're 17, 16.
Exactly.
We come into college, it's like, hey, now you're gonna study for what you're gonna do for the rest of your life.
Right. And it's like, no, it's crazy because you're going like 0 to 100 like so quick.
Yeah.
Like you're in high school and it's just so different than college, and then you're applying for schools and majors, and it's like, well, what if I don't know what I want to do?
Yeah.
And I was kind of in that position, so like, I mean, I figured it out now, and I still obviously don't know what I want to do, but I feel like I have a good path is to like, I don't figure it out. But
yeah. And I feel like it doesn't help when like the entire life everyone's like, so what do you want to do when you grow up? It's like,
exactly.
I don't know, I'm 12.
Yeah, like dude, seriously, and like people still ask me today, like, what do you want to do? I don't know.
I don't know. Have
Figure
fun.
out, yeah, have
like
fun.
enjoy my life.
Exactly.
That's what I want to do. Not freaking sit behind it. Could you sit behind a desk all day and like do work?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't get how people do that.
I can't sit behind a desk to just do my schoolwork.
Yeah.
No, it's not for me. Like, I can't see myself working a job behind a desk. Like, I like to be on the move and doing stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, what about you?
I do not a shot.
I can't.
Like, this is too much for me just sitting here all day. Like, I like doing things.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like I feel like it could be our generation, but because I feel like, I don't know, in the past, people just had to like do those jobs, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of them are becoming automated by like technology.
I agree.
So I don't know which direction that leads because it takes away so many jobs, but it also like frees people up to do what they want.
Exactly.
If you're in that position.
Like, I feel like through the whole pandemic and where we are now, I feel like a lot of jobs are becoming unattainable for people. Like, I know a lot of people still don't have jobs that graduated school last year.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is technology based. My sister's working for a digital media company out of Newark, and she doesn't even go to the office. It's all over Zoom meetings and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you think people are going to start going back to like their headquarters or their buildings, or do you think it's going to go all online? Because I could feel like it could go either way. I feel like it's showing these companies that, hey, your people are still productive when they're doing it at home,
Right.
and they don't have to travel like an hour to get to work every day.
I think eventually it'll be, I'm not going to say everyone's going to go back, but I think at some point, hopefully, I think over the summer, I mean, I know nothing, but like, just like ballpark estimate, I think over the summer, I think people will start going back to the city and working in the city. I think most companies are probably going to leave it up to the individual though.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Because like, you don't really need to go in some jobs. Like obviously in some cases, like you need to be in the office, but in some cases, like you could do all your work from home. Like get on a Zoom call, do your fucking conference,
Exactly.
and then just be fine for the day. And it like saves people time, and they could be like home and do work on their own schedule. But then it's like, well, when does work stop?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
Can't really separate it.
Yeah, like I think like if you're working over Zoom, I feel like there's no such thing as a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like people like I think, you know, I personally don't think that like working over Zoom is something I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah. No.
And like it's just not the norm. So I hope eventually people will get back to just working in person and getting back to all that stuff, because that's like, it's American. Like people work 9 to 5s, like you know, and I feel like we have to try and get back to that eventually.
Yeah. I don't think anything. This world's changing.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we can't even. I just want to go back to no masks and be able to like see each other.
Go to Texas.
I mean that's where I'm
Right.
going. Fuck this place.
Yeah.
Cuomo.
Seriously.
Lick balls. But Trillo we were talking yesterday. He was telling me like how bad New York City has been.
Mhm.
Because we're both from Jersey, so it's really not like terrible. Like
Yeah.
as like you can't go outside and be afraid of being robbed.
Right.
Or like I was listening to Will Rogan this morning. He's like someone who lives in the city. Like he was talking about how the streets are full of shit, like literal shit and trash.
actual-
Yeah, like dog shit.
Oh.
But still, it's
Yeah.
poo.
I know.
Like, and just people are like stealing everyone's packages because everyone gets their stuff delivered through like Amazon. So people are literally like making their livings just going to these apartments and just stealing all their stuff.
In New York City?
Yeah, it's really insane. And Trillo was there he goes all the time because Maya's there and he's a Long Island kid.
Right, yeah.
So he's like, it's literally just insanity over there. It's
Yeah.
like, have you seen Taxi Driver?
Yeah.
The movie?
De Niro?
Yeah. He says it's like that.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. Like, and New York has been like, in the past, it's been declared like the dirtiest city in like the United States.
It's so gross.
I know. It's not like it's so gross, and like right now it's just a ghost town.
Yeah.
Like I was there over break. It's a ghost town.
What were you doing?
I was out to dinner for Vince's birthday.
Mints.
Yeah. No, and like you can't. It's crazy though, because like even Jersey, like we think it's strict over there right now.
Yeah.
Like doesn't even equate to New York right now. Like you can't like no indoor dining. We went out. We sat outside. It was like 25 degrees in the city, and like you have to wear your mask at the table below your chin. It has to stay on your face, and when your waiter or waitress comes up to you, it has to be over your face. And like we don't do that. We get to eat inside. We're lucky. I know.
They have. That is the stupidest thing. You have to wear it on your
It's
chin.
bizarre.
What is that gonna do?
No idea.
What?
They make you leave your mask. I took it off, and they're like, no, you have to wear it. But like you have to wear it on your face, but below your chin.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I know.
These rules literally just seem like rules to have rules.
It's almost. It seems like
Yeah.
that, right? But like same with everywhere though. I think it's like a lot of like the blue states are like it's some of it like the like bars and restaurants having to close at 10. What is that?
I don't know.
Why?
I guess I think about that. It's like maybe it's because like more people will go to them when it's open later. But it's like that's so stupid. Who gives a shit?
Like,
People
does COVID come out after 10 o'clock?
yeah.
Is that
I think so.
Dude, it must. Like I don't like that's something I don't get, and I hope they just ease up at some point.
But like when stuff like this happens, like we give power to the government, you
Mhm.
know, to control. They could do whatever they want. Like they're stopping people in airports. Like they can have these checkpoints anywhere,
Mhm.
which isn't legal usually.
Right.
But now because there's a pandemic, I guess it's allowed.
Yeah.
But like when does that power just stop? Like I really don't feel like they're just gonna be like, pandemic's over. We're gonna give up our power, you
Right.
know? Like
No.
I don't think that's gonna
I
happen.
totally get it, because like right now, or even since last year, like last March when we got sent home, like I feel like we're just under complete government control right now.
Yeah.
Complete government control, which is not how it's supposed to be. It's scary, honestly.
It is scary.
And how do you get away from that? Like how do you ease away from that? I feel like once they're in control, which it seems like they are now. Like how do you ease off of that?
Not a clue.
Because COVID's not going to go away.
Yeah.
It's not just going to disappear.
Yeah, I mean Biden's in office now, so it is disappearing.
It's just disappearing. But it's always going to be a thing. Like, people are going to be wearing masks for the foreseeable future, at least.
I think we're gonna turn into like China in that regard, like because when they get sick, I think it's kind of good. Like when you're sick, you put on a mask for like decency, so you don't get others sick.
I think that's where the direction we're going to go in.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
I can't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, it's kind of good. Just like, all right, don't be a scumbag. Put on a mask.
No, you put on a mask.
Don't get me sick.
Yeah, no, like you put on a mask and be like, oh, this guy's sick.
Yeah,
Right,
like cool.
I know.
Well, there's something about we were learning about like a while ago bio. What's it called? Your microbiome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we are talking about science.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think that's what that's about though.
No.
But the microbiome, pretty much, there's like a theory. I forgot what the name of it was, but it's like if you grow up in a dirty like environment growing up, like I don't know if microbiome is even the right word for it, but you get presented with more bacteria and stuff growing up.
Yeah.
So you like your body can learn what it is and learn how to fight it. So when you get older, like it recognizes it.
Really?
And it can fight it. What is that called?
So you're less susceptible to getting sick.
Yeah, if like that's one of the like I don't even know if it's a theory. I think it's kind of just like
A fact.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because like if you get sick,
yeah.
your body just learns how to fight that off.
Yeah.
And then if you see it again,
It's the hygiene hypothesis.
Hygiene hypothesis. That's what it's
That's
called.
like how kids growing up in cleaner environments get like allergies, and that's why
Yeah.
people think there's more allergies today than there used to be when like our parents were kids.
Facts.
That's
So
crazy.
Clemens just said the hygiene hypothesis. You want to talk into the mic? We almost got a mic today, but
slide
slide in.
We got the hygiene hypothesis, which is kind of related to how like I'm sure you've probably heard it from like your parents and stuff. Like, oh, like nobody had allergies like when I was a kid. Now like people have allergies all the time. Like
Yeah.
everybody's allergic to something. It feels like.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how those line up.
Yeah. Thank you, Clemens. And we're gonna get you a mic. We're gonna get it eventually. We have it.
We're close.
We're close.
So close.
We're so close. But yeah, it is interesting. It feels like everyone and their mother has an allergy nowadays. It's because, and it could be because of just we were grown up in such clean environments. No one plays in the mud anymore.
No, I know. Not like back in the 60s.
Back in the 60s.
Now jumping in puddles and playing in mud.
What did they do back then?
Dude, I don't even know.
Like, we played Xbox, and like obviously like we'd still go out and play like sports and stuff.
Yeah.
But back then, you couldn't even text your friends and be like,
So different.
"Hey, let's meet up."
I know.
You just we're
You like ride your bike to their house.
yeah.
You know?
They're like, "Yo, you home?"
Yeah.
I remember like in elementary school, like I'd literally call my friend Alex on the phone, like on my home phone,
Mhm.
be like, "Hey, Mr. Alessandro, is Alex home?" And he's like, "Yeah, you just got off the bus." It's like, "All right, can we hang out?"
Yeah. No, dude, I used to know like all of my friends' home phone numbers, bro.
Yeah.
Because I would just call. That's literally I called them on my home phone all the time.
Yeah.
So funny. Their mom would pick up. Oh, hey, it's Evan. You know,
Yeah.
where's Danny?
Yeah.
So funny.
Just got home off the bus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was fun. We would always like ride our bikes like down paths. But I was really bad. He was a good biker, but that was fun. I always miss that. But we need to get dirtier again.
I know. We won't get
We're
sick.
too clean. No, I used to get so sick all the time.
Mm.
Like when I was growing up, I had strep throat probably like 8 times a year.
Really?
It was brutal. And we think it was because one of my friends was a carrier, and like I always hung out with him, so
Yeah.
he would always give it to
Just
me.
give it to you?
Yeah, what a bitch.
I know. I was lucky. I was rarely sick as a kid.
Really?
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. That's like it's crazy.
I think our house, really, because I still got sick a lot in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and now I take my vitamin C and my vitamin D.
Gotta take your zinc.
Yeah, I
Get on the
need
zinc.
to get sick too.
Doctors say it prevents COVID.
Really?
Probably not, but I take it anyway.
Fair. It was interesting. My friend Alex just sent me today. It was like, okay, Rockefeller. I don't know how true this is, but it could be true, and it's interesting to think
What?
about. So, Rockefeller, you know, the big
Yep.
money guy.
Yeah.
When he was in control, he switched to petroleum because he had owned like all the petroleum stuff.
Mhm.
And so we were using Western medicine, like herbs and that kind of shit.
Right.
That's now considered alternative medicine.
Yeah.
And what he did was, because there's money in petroleum, he said, hey, I'm going to give these grants and this money to these scientists and universities if they develop a medicine that is petroleum based, which is our medicine that we use now. So he's like, okay, you have to push this, and he owned all the media outlets.
Right.
So
yeah, no.
And he would like crucify like any scientist that spoke out against this new petroleum based medicine.
Really?
Again, and if they said like the herbs and that kind of stuff were the right thing. So he pretty much shifted the medicine we used to use that used to work for thousands of years, probably more, to what we use now, just for money. And like completely changed everyone's outlook on it because he owned the media and he owned the petroleum. So, and he owned the scientists and universities pretty much, which is crazy to think that one person can literally change. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real?
Yeah, that's how like medicines were developed. They're based off petroleum.
Yep, so thank you, Clemens, for fact checking that.
So he basically got rid of all, because herbs are natural.
Yeah.
So he just got rid of the natural remedies that worked.
Yeah, he was pretty much like, there's money to be made in the medicine field.
Right.
So he was like, let me fuck with this. That's actually crazy to think. I didn't know if that was true, so I wasn't coming at it full steam. Now that that's been fact checked, look into it, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, when you have the amount of money that this guy does, like, and controls the science and the media, like, you can do whatever you want.
Because we think herbs are like literally alternative medicine.
Right. Yeah. And they're all natural.
They're all natural.
Now you throw petroleum in the mix, and it's like, what am I putting in my body?
That's actually very concerning.
Right.
How, dude?
Money and power.
Money and power. It literally runs the world. This guy literally changed the medicine we used just to make money.
It's crazy.
I think we got to start looking back into herbs.
Right.
Herbs? Is it herbs?
Herbs.
Herbs? But it's spelled with an H, right?
Spelled with an H. It's pronounced herbs.
Herbs.
Yeah. All natural.
All natural.
It's all, dude. Why would we get away from that if it works?
I don't know. For money.
Money and
literally
power.
for money.
Yeah.
Money and power.
Things
but
that
like
it does.
the Native Americans use this stuff. Like Western medicine is like a real thing.
Oh yeah.
And it worked for so many years. And that's why it's really interesting too. Like there's this frequencies. Okay, it sounds crazy.
Okay.
So it sounds crazy. But it's like this healing that happens. Like you put on a headset like this, and this, I don't know how it works. It's like audio healing. So they play a frequency, and like different frequencies.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Balance you. What is it called? Do you know what it's called? I don't understand.
I don't know what it's called. I've seen it on TikTok.
Okay.
There's TikToks that play like different frequencies that give you like, that either relax you, make you happy.
Yeah.
I don't know, like.
No, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But like, the doctor, like it was in the documentary called Heal. I recommend anyone watch it because it pretty much talks about exactly what we're talking about. It's like how our minds are so powerful.
They're called binaural beats.
Binaural beats. Interesting. But like the documentary is about how our minds are so powerful and we're so just used to just, if you feel sick, you get on medicine.
Right.
You know, your head hurts, medicine.
Yeah.
You feel anxious, medicine. You depressed, medicine. But that's like, we have to look at the root of the problem. Like, and our minds are usually the root of the problem.
Right.
So this, I think it was really interesting. This guy, it sounds so ridiculous. All this stuff sounds so crazy, but it's like, it actually happens. This guy like broke his spine in like a car accident or something. And they're like, we have to like do surgery and to do all this stuff, like you're never gonna be able to walk again, but like we're gonna be able to save you.
Right.
And he's like, no. He had like a feeling. He's like, no, I gotta look into this myself. So he started like meditating. And he started like visualizing his spine, like going back into order, like every day. And then after like a month or two, or I don't know how long the time is, but after a certain amount of time, like he actually healed himself with his mind.
Really? That's true?
Yes. How crazy is that?
No, it's crazy because like, I feel like people today are like you said, we're so reliant on like antibiotics or like just, you know, any kind of medicine. It's almost like, oh, I have a headache right now, I'm gonna take a Tylenol, or we take Advil, and like we're not as concerned where the root of the problem is actually coming from.
Yeah.
We're just more concerned about like what's gonna stop this from what's gonna stop this pain from.
We're just treating symptoms.
I know. Yeah, not always the right way to go about it too.
It's not, and I'm not like saying this. I'm not discounting medicine at all. It's just like obviously like people need medicine. Like it's really great.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
I mean,
it's good.
Even today, like we need medicine.
Yeah, we need medicine, but not for everything. Like when are you treating symptoms rather than the actual thing?
Right.
You know, which most medicine does. It's like you're treating the inflammation or the, I don't know, the nausea or whatever the fuck you have. It's
Right.
treating the symptoms. And like most of this stuff could either be treated by better eating,
Right.
working out,
Yep.
like therapy, like all this different things that could help.
Exactly.
But everyone's like, it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. Like, I'm not, like you're like people aren't gonna change their like they're not getting to the root of the problem and changing their habits.
Yeah.
They're just easing the pain with medication.
Yeah, it's the easy way out. That's
Uh-huh.
kind of what it seems like. It's like cutting a corner just to like feel better.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Which isn't always the worst thing though.
It's
And we've all done it.
No, yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
It is dangerous though to get stuck in those habits because it's funny. It's like I feel like someone could just go to the doctor, and be like, I'm feeling sick. It's like, well, you're like 200 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
You eat like shit. No wonder you feel like shit.
Exactly.
Like, what do you put in your body?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just they're like, well, yeah, but like I don't want to work out. Just give me a pill.
Yeah. No, seriously, like it's how it is. I mean, America has such a problem with obesity,
Yeah.
and like, yeah,
We gotta stop putting shit into our bodies.
change up your habits.
Yeah, but it's hard. Like when things are easy to access, like fast food,
Mm-hmm.
and like I don't know these food deserts,
Right.
pretty much where there's no like healthy food. It's
Yeah.
really just fast food because it's cheap and convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what else? What are you supposed to do?
No, I
I don't know.
That's the thing. Fast food is just so convenient, and you know, it's better than cooking a healthy meal yourself. Let's just go through the drive-thru, have someone make my food for me. I don't care if it's healthy or not.
Yeah, some people don't have time for it. You
Mhm.
know, work, 2 jobs, 3 jobs,
Exactly.
have kids at home,
Yeah.
just grab a burger, be done with it.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you think we could get like healthy fast food? Like just drive through and just be like, let's go.
I think it's getting there. I think not saying Chipotle is 100% healthy. I
Mhm.
guess you can put certain you can get certain things at Chipotle that are healthy,
Yeah.
or healthier. Not obviously not something you can eat every day. Then there's do you know what Chopped is? You ever heard of that? It's a salad chain.
Okay.
So I mean I think we're getting there,
Yeah.
but I mean you're always gonna have your McDonald's, your Wendy's, and
It seems like so much shit.
it is.
Like the amount of like, I don't know what they do to the animals, like processed foods.
Mhm.
Like we're learning more and more how like bad they are for
Oh yeah,
us.
I know. Have you seen or heard about the whole like Fairlife? It's like a milk company,
No, what
and they
was
just like they do. There's a documentary on it. I'm not sure what it's called. If you want to look it up, something about Fairlife. But like the things they do to these cows is like just awful. And like I don't know how they're still in business. I watched it in a class last year. I think I watched it in like writing 205.
Yeah.
I had to write a paper on it, but like it's disgusting.
What were they doing?
Just the way the way they're treated and like the things that they're fed.
Yeah.
Operation Fairlife.
Yeah.
Operation Fairlife.
Yeah, it's like full on just animal abuse.
Yeah, it's complete animal abuse. Like they have them in like such tight capacity. They're not spread out. It's not like a farm. It's not like a farm where these cows are, they're going, they're spread out. Like they're packed into these small like factories almost, and are just fed shit.
Mhm.
And then we're putting their milk into our body. It's bad.
Dude, fuck.
Yeah, I know.
And they're probably like they're such tight corners. They're probably stepping in shit.
Mhm.
Like there's probably poo everywhere.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
No, I know.
And it's like we think we could feed these animals bad stuff
Yeah.
because what they eat
And it's what we're eating.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's so hard for us to know. Like most people, even when we do know, it's like I'm just gonna like turn away from this and pretend it's not happening. Just like
Mhm.
prisons and global warming and all this other
Exactly,
shit.
yeah.
It's like let's just turn our shoulders to it and pretend like it's not there.
Mhm.
because like what are we supposed to do
I know.
as like normal people? Like what are we supposed to do?
I know. It's crazy.
I don't know. I really don't know what we're supposed to do.
It's a wild concept.
It is.
Right.
Because we need to start eating better, and that's why I love these organ pills.
Yeah.
I love my organ pills
Uh-huh.
because they're grass fed, like what is it like raised like well, like on a nice farm,
Yeah.
and not fed GMO shit,
Mm-hmm.
not fed this corn
Right.
that destroys them. And it's just their organs, and it gives you the vitamins and the nutrients you need every day.
Exactly.
And I stopped taking them in 6 pill forms at once, because I used to take them all at once, which was
Right.
bad, because I could choke on them.
Yeah.
I take them 2 at a time, man.
There you go.
But they're so good. You literally feel like the first time I took them, I literally felt like a rush in my body. Like I felt it instantly. And every day I take them, it's like I actually feel it.
What are they called?
I take it called, it's like ancestral something, I don't know. But the only bad part is they're fucking expensive.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but they're so good.
What's the point of them?
So the whole concept behind it is like we're supposed to eat like our ancestors
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we evolved from.
Right.
And they used to eat like meat. They never, when they killed an animal or something, they would eat the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what fed the tribe. So they would
Right.
eat the organs, they would eat the liver, they'd eat the whatever.
Exactly.
So they would eat everything, the kidneys. And those are the most nutritious parts of an animal.
Right.
So like when a wolf kills something, the alpha wolf gets to eat first and goes for the kidneys because that's where the most nutrients are. And all the other wolves like stand and watch.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. So like we used to eat that stuff like the heart, like we see it in all tribes and all this
Mhm.
stuff
Right.
because it has the most nutrients and vitamins that we need. So the basic of this is like we don't eat liver or heart
Of course.
because like we're
Grow
fucking
up. Yeah.
liver
first
or
of all,
heart.
I know.
So it's like what it does. It's like they're dehydrated or something,
Yeah.
and it's like pill forms. So you
It's
can
like
really
little
just
capsules?
Yeah, it's in 6 capsules, and they actually work.
Interesting.
Like I was so skeptical, and then I took them. I'm like, fuck yeah,
You take them like every day. Still?
every day. And when I stopped taking them because I ran out,
Mhm.
I could actually feel the difference of me not being on them.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like? Are you getting like protein from this? Like what is?
I don't know if it's protein. It's like vitamin K, like vitamin B. Like it's just a bunch of vitamins
Huh.
and nutrients. It's really interesting.
That is really.
Like I don't know, ancestral something. I don't know what they're called. But literally just look up beef organ pills, and I got the Amazon Choice ones.
Interesting.
They're so good.
Wow.
But there's a whole like Joe Rogan episode on it, like explaining the science of it. And I watched it, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this makes sense.
I know. He makes everything make sense.
Right?
I
He's
know.
good at what he
He's
does.
very good.
He has some smart people on that show.
I know.
It's sad. They're so long now. They're like 3 hours
So
pop. So I'm like, I don't have time
I
to
know.
do this, do school, and watch.
I know.
So I'm falling behind.
Because that's like your whole thing is like what I love about what you're doing is like it's Joe Rogan-esque where it's like you just talk about anything.
Yeah.
And like I love that. And like Joe Rogan's so good at it too because like he has the ability to talk to like so many different kinds of people and understand them and like have like actual genuine conversations with everyone.
It's dope.
So
He does
cool.
it so well, and it's so important because like you could have these smart scientists and shit,
Mhm.
but going back to CRS, if you don't know how to communicate it to the public,
Mhm.
it means nothing.
Zero.
You know?
I know.
Like you've had smart professors
Yeah.
and you've taken their classes and you don't understand a word they're saying
I know.
because they can't communicate their knowledge.
Exactly. So like I feel like Rogan's almost like the mediator there because he's like just like us
Yeah.
and he understands it and breaks it down so like his viewers can see like I can
Yeah.
understand what's being talked about.
Yeah, 'cause
He's
most,
great.
most people aren't like scientists.
No.
They don't understand.
No, I know.
I don't understand, and it's so nice to have like. That's why I love him so much. Like you're so right. It really breaks down all this smart stuff for a normal consumer to listen to.
Smart and like important things. Too.
Yeah.
Especially like important science things. Like he's had some like really big scientists on, right?
Yeah. Dude, like the one that it was, what was that meteor called? Well, it wasn't a meteor.
Mhm.
That was the whole thing.
Right.
Did you see that? It was called like, it was like a Hawaiian name. It was like Honolulu or something like that. But it was like this meteor that was like paper thin,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't have a meteor shape. It was like
Yeah, it's
massive.
Oumuamua.
Oumuamua. Yeah. So the whole thing was this scientist was like, he's going against like his entire scientific community. It's pretty much saying this isn't a meteor. This is like alien craft because it's paper thin. It doesn't move like a meteor,
Right.
and it went past the sun and wasn't affected by its gravity.
What?
Yeah. So it's like this thing is not a meteor, and all the scientists were like, "Oh, this is a meteor. It's a meteor." Like whatever, because
Yeah.
you would think a scientist would want to study something that's weird, you know?
That's weird and like actually like potentially real. Like why would
Yeah.
they waste their time?
I don't know, because I guess it just discredits them, and that's what this whole guy was saying. It's like you have to put yourself out there as a science and study the unknown, you know?
Exactly.
Scientists are supposed to keep their minds open,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not just shut stuff down just because it sounds bizarre.
No.
But we're in an age now, it feels like, where a lot of things are just being labeled as crazy and out of this world when there's usually like a kernel of truth there.
I agree completely.
It's weird.
Like how about those? Did you see? I forgot what they're called. Those like tall steel rods that were just like appearing places.
Yeah, those were strange.
Weird.
Yeah, the first one was, I don't know, no one knows where the first one came from. The second or the third, it was like an art installation,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't buy that the first one was, because that was there for like years, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
and no one found it.
It's weird.
I don't know what that's about.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Seriously.
Do you think they're aliens, or do you think that they're us from the future?
I think aliens. I think aliens are real. I really do.
I agree, yeah, for sure.
And I feel like people, like especially important like figures, like dodge that question so much,
Mhm.
especially like government people. But I think they know.
They know. That's what the whole, I think the whole QAnon thing came from. I don't know if that's the whole thing, but like the level Q is like the top clearance
Yeah.
above everything else.
Yeah.
And like these people, because I think I heard it's like not all presidents knew that there's extraterrestrial life, like only the ones that needed to know. So it's like, if the president of the United States of America
Mm-hmm.
didn't need to know there's extraterrestrial life, who are the people that do?
Yeah, like who? How do you get? Like, who's in
Right.
that? Like who's in that group of people? Presidents that need to know
Yeah.
whether it's real or not.
I just want to know who is so high clearance to know all this stuff,
I don't know.
like higher than the president.
Like
Why don't we know their names?
I don't know. There's people higher though.
There
There's
are.
definitely people higher.
There definitely are.
Yeah.
Just to think, like, from a rational sense, I think it's silly to think that the government is how it's portrayed to us.
It's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought.
Very scary. Because like everything that we know, I feel like doesn't go beyond like, what the government knows.
It's what they tell us.
Yeah.
It's really what they tell us.
Yeah.
And they found in the documentary, it was called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, Contact Has Begun.
Oh boy.
Oh baby, it was awesome. It is crazy. Can you see who the doctor was?
Yeah.
Who was the main guy in that? But pretty much the whole thing, it was an alien documentary.
Mhm.
But there was a section of it where it was like these journalists who worked at the New York Times and all these like well-known, high up
Right.
magazine or news outlets.
Mhm.
And the guy was like, yeah, they tell us like what we can and can't say. Like some force.
Stephen
Sweet.
Greer. Is he
What?
the doctor? Stephen Greer.
Stephen Greer.
Greer.
Yes, Dr. Stephen Greer. Yeah, that would have been a tough name if his name was Dr.
Yeah.
Stephen Queer.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Stephen Greer, but this guy has like dedicated his life to this stuff, and people that he's worked with have been killed,
Mhm.
like disappear,
Yeah.
like all this crazy shit, and he literally starts crying on the documentary, being like, "I feel like bad that I'm still here." You know, what is that syndrome called? Like he's guilty that he.
Survivor's guilt.
Yeah, survivor's
Survivor's
guilt. He literally has survivor's guilt because everyone he's been worked with has been killed or silenced
Because they know something.
because they know.
Yeah. No, it's like the same thing with the whole like Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Like people
Yeah.
have been like, there was a judge in New Brunswick who was I forget, was it her? but like it was like recent. It was like over when we were home for break. She was put on the Epstein case, and the FedEx driver stopped, dropped the package off, like knocked on the door. A kid came out, got the package, and the UPS driver, whatever, like just shot him in the head, point blank.
The driver was?
Yeah. I don't know if she was killed too. I think it was her son.
I think it was her son and her husband both died.
And her husband.
Shit.
Yeah. No,
How
it's
does that
crazy.
not make news?
I don't know. No, I think it did.
Maybe
But
I'm just not looking into it.
I don't. Yeah, dude. But like,
It's crazy.
it's stuff like that. Like it's like government power, dude. Like if people are getting close to knowing stuff that they don't want you to know, I personally think like they're not afraid to take you out.
I
seeing
agree.
it.
We
We
see
see
it
it firsthand.
And we've seen it in the past too.
Yeah. No, it's terrifying.
That's scary. And we think just because we have technology now that like, oh, they used to cover up stuff in the past
Mhm.
because they didn't have any technology or anything.
Right.
And I bet, yeah, it's probably easy as shit to do corrupt things back then.
Oh, yeah.
But now they still can. They just have to be sneakier with it.
Yep.
You know? It's scary. It really is.
No.
But the more people that that know, like, but that's another thing. They try to, what's it called? Pretty much call people crazy
Mhm.
or what is it when you make someone else?
Gaslighting?
No, it's the word for when you try to make someone else like not credible anymore.
Defamation?
To defamation, libel, like
Yeah, libel is... Yeah, libel.
yeah, just defamation. I guess makes sense. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you get the point.
They
Like,
cancel people.
yeah, they pretty much ruin someone's career, like try to make them uncredible so people don't listen to them. Like we saw with Bob Lazar,
Mhm.
like they're like, this guy didn't work he never went to MIT, he didn't work at the S4 base, like he didn't do this, he's just a psycho, he's crazy, he thinks aliens are real,
Yeah.
you know? And then it comes out like, oh, there's newspaper articles that this guy did work at the S4 base, that he did go to MIT, and
Yeah.
all this shit that they said that he didn't do, he did.
Mhm.
But they try to make these people uncredible so no one listens to them.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, let's just because there's a whole thing, for the aliens, they had the Air Force had a Project Blue Book, where it's pretty much any case where there's a UFO, these men in black, or whoever went to cover it up.
Yep.
They went to cover it up.
I know.
And all this shit's coming out that all this stuff's true. And the whole thing was, let's just it makes sense. Like, if I was in a position of power, how do I make the public not care about this stuff or look away? Oh, let's just make it seem like it's crazy. And the people that think that are conspiracy theorists and they're out of their minds with tinfoil hats. They create an image
Yeah.
to make these people look like they're insane so no one gives them the time of day, even though it's true. Or not all of it's true, but there's a kernel of truth there.
Mhm.
There always is. It's scary.
And I think like something that relates to this somewhat is the media regulation we've been seeing since the pandemic started. Like Twitter, just absolutely just getting rid of President Trump's Twitter.
Yeah.
Like freedom of speech,
We need it.
and it's like it's gone because all these media outlets are regulating it. If it's not something that they agree with, they're just getting rid of it. Like we saw with President Trump, and then I talked to you about this like last week.
Yeah.
What's his name? Lynn Wood, who's he's like a very well-known attorney, and he's the guy that tweeted like Jeffrey Epstein's still alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you explain that more?
Yeah, so I mean he would go on like Twitter rants at like the most random times. And like I don't know like how much I believe, he definitely says some credible stuff, but I think he might also be screw loose or something. He's like kind of cute.
Yeah.
But no, he would just like tweet the craziest stuff about how like he's one of the last people that knows all the stuff that happened with Epstein and this stuff. And like he'd always tweet like I'm gonna tell you guys what I know. Like if I'm not here tomorrow for telling you guys this, like I'm sorry, but I'm gonna lay it all out there for you. Like I can't hold it anymore. And like I don't know, he's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But like some just wild stuff. And like coming from a guy like that who's just like a very well-known and successful attorney, it's almost like, well, there has to be some kind of truth in there. And then Twitter just got rid of him. Can't tweet anymore.
Dude, it's like, why? Just because...
He got banned for tweets about the Capitol The
Oh, is that what
capital
you got?
shit.
Yeah.
But he did also tweet about like Jeffrey Epstein a lot. This guy seems like he's kind of a Yahoo.
But
Yeah.
the
He's
Yah-
definitely a Yahoo.
The Yahoo thing, though, it's like, okay, you may be like, we could look at Alex Jones too, like, he's crazy, yeah. He's got knocked in the head a few times,
Yeah.
but what he says, a lot of it is truth. Like, we can't. I think it's so dangerous to think. Not everyone has all the answers, but just because you get one thing wrong, doesn't mean all the stuff you say is incredible. That's why we have to like look into things and not just take things, whatever we hear as truth. Like we need to look into stuff. But like for flat earthers, like you don't see them getting banned for Twitter.
I know.
Their information's still there. Like
Yeah.
why is this allowed, but this isn't? You know, if it's all crazy, why isn't it all allowed? Because we could see this flat earther stuff is obviously fake.
Yeah.
Like we see the fucking earth.
I know.
You know.
Exactly.
Find me a point where you could fall off the earth.
Yeah.
But like for this other stuff, I guess it's harder to find if it's incredible, and it's easier just to label as crazy and naive because this person seems like they have a screw loose, even though there may be something true there.
Right, and like what I don't understand about that is like people of like his stature and like he's had a successful career.
Yeah.
Like why is he gonna go on Twitter and say all this stuff and possibly just not be an attorney anymore? Why would he try and ruin his career by saying false things?
Makes no sense.
But a lot of the stuff that he says just seems like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But like at the same time, you have to think in the back of your head, like, why is he gonna say this while he's, he still has a career?
Yeah. What is there to gain
Yeah,
from this?
exactly.
Nothing.
It's weird. It's scary.
It is
It's like,
weird.
I know.
It's the media cycle too.
Yeah.
Like we heard about Jeffrey Epstein for like, I don't know, like a month, not even,
Yeah.
like a few weeks. We hear about this sex trafficking. We see a documentary and okay, we forget about him. But it's just that news cycle. It just forgets about him. Like they use that to their advantage. Like these news companies put out like important information that they don't want people to see
Right.
on Friday nights and Saturday nights because no one's
Exactly.
good, no one's looking,
Exactly.
and then it's gone because no one checks.
Yep.
And it's so easy to just fucking hide information from us.
Yeah. It's almost like let us put this out there when people aren't going to be checking the news
Yeah.
because we have to, but it'll be gone the next day.
Yeah, it's bad. And I think it's interesting. I did my senior project at Fox News. Like Martha McCallum, I think is awesome. Like she's one of my favorites. I think she's so credible. She does like what she thinks is right.
Yeah.
But the way that people get information, like at these news companies, is they have a computer. They just look up a keyword,
Yeah.
and then the information's there. Like if you can get into that computer base, like the people that run it, and just like take stuff out, then that computer base isn't giving you the information you need. Like what I'm saying pretty much is journalists aren't going out into the field anymore because it's too expensive and you have to make deadlines.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
in a 24-hour news cycle, you need to have stuff now.
Exactly.
So they pull all their stuff from Twitter and all this other crazy stuff. There's no journalists, not really anymore, these investigative journalists that actually go out and get all the information, which is, I think, very dangerous because we need journalists. They're supposed to be the fourth estate, the people protecting us,
Exactly.
giving us the information we need. But now they're owned by these big businesses that are just trying to make money now. They don't give a shit about protecting us.
And the problem with pulling from different media outlets is it's either very left or it's very right. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's why we need journalists.
We do. We need that. We need morally, like, balanced journalists, and that's why I think this is just like in the works. I want to start. I want to start like a little journalist thing from Syracuse. So me and my friend Sophie. I told her the idea the other day, and she liked it. She's gonna like be the head lead of it because I have other shit going on.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get journalists from this school.
Yeah.
So it's obviously gonna start off small, and we're actually gonna do. And it's not gonna be. I think it's very. The 24-hour news sucks because it's going all the time, and it's just to make money. You're not meeting deadlines. Like we actually need. I just want the facts, and that's why mine's gonna be called The Facts.
Yep. I like that.
FAX, like facts.
There you go. Yeah. Nah, it's simple. It's all you need.
So I think it's not good right now because it's just churning. Like it's all opinion pieces,
Mhm.
and we're not getting the information. So what this is going to be, it's going to be just the information.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be the facts. Like
Mhm.
this is what's going on. Short, easy, consumable, and then beneath it's going to be an opinion piece.
Right.
So this is what's happening. This is what it is, and I think that's what we need. And like I would love for these news sources to get off like this money grab because they're all entertainment companies.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
They're not journalists anymore. We fuck the 24-hour news thing is the worst thing that's ever happened in journalism
Mm-hmm.
because no one can listen to it all the time. If you gave people a 30-minute summary every day or every week of what's going on, just what's going on, we could have these people, our citizens that are supposed to be educated on what's going on in the world, actually educated.
Right.
And we could have normal democratic elections because everyone knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just so tough to have. I mean, I think your idea is so great because I think that's what like news stations are missing is the like just give them the facts and then give your opinion part at the end, like but state the facts. Like that's all we need.
We just need the
like
facts.
I know like it sucks because it's like again it's so right leaning or left leaning, and that's always what the pieces.
My bad.
That's always what that's like always what the pieces are.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna read something from Fox or listen to someone from Fox, it's obviously gonna be right leaning.
Yeah.
And if you listen to CNN or NBC or any of those other channels, it's gonna be left leaning. Like there's no middle ground, which sucks.
Yeah.
That's why there's no in between Republican Democrat anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's because you're getting these pieces that are either so right leaning or so left leaning. There's no middle ground.
We need, and it feels like it just keeps going more left and more right each side.
Exactly.
I feel like most people though, like normal people, are in the middle. You know, like I feel like most people aren't extreme on each side.
Yeah, I think now, I think after like this whole election, I feel like it's going that way. Like I feel like you're leaning more right or you're leaning more left. I feel like the middle ground is there, but I feel like it's disappearing.
Yeah, the middle, dude. And like I feel, yeah, dude, it doesn't make sense. Do you think how can we get that middle back? Because I feel like you need both parties to not argue, but to like have their differing ideas so they can find that middle. You know, that's why it's so great. You can't have a middle without two sides.
Right. No, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I think we need to get away from these old politicians that we're so used to seeing.
Yeah.
Like the Trumps and the Bidens.
Old farts.
I know. Like I think what the U.S. is missing is just a new young face.
Mm.
Left or right, it doesn't matter. We need a fresh start.
Yeah. That's why I'm excited. I really do think our generation, we see this corruption. We see the way like this stuff divides our country.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally look around, it's everywhere. And I think we see it on campus. Like there's smart kids here.
Yeah.
Like we see the problems of this world. If we can spread that, get people more aware, like our generation, we're the ones who are going to be running the country when these fuckers die.
Exactly.
Eventually, unless their heads are going to be in computers and they're going to be running this world forever.
Exactly.
But we are the people that need to come in and change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can come in the system and keep doing the same shit that they've been doing, keeping the system going, or like Daenerys Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to break the wheel.
Yeah.
We have to stop doing what they're doing and shift the way this country's going. We have to be the ones who make change because no one else is going to do.
No, and it's going to be up to us one way or another.
Yeah.
Because we're in our 20s, our generation is young, and we're living through a time where we probably won't see again in our lifetime with the whole, obviously the pandemic and then the election stuff this year, just crazy things that we probably won't ever see, and it's going to be on our backs to actually do better. And like we're leaders of this country. Like it's us now.
Fuck.
I know, it's scary.
We took all the problems of our past, of our ancestors' past, and now, like, of the environment, space,
Yeah.
divide.
We need a fresh start. Fresh start.
We need a fresh start.
I know.
But, and some people say it's too far gone, but like nothing's ever too far gone. It's just gonna take more work.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
We need everyone pulling their weight.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I don't know how we're gonna get everyone on the same page.
No, it's tough. We need to beat the pandemic and then move on from there.
Yeah, we'll use it as a catalyst. Because I feel like all this stuff, like I always say, like the most transformative moments come from like the biggest times of struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We could see it in our own lives.
Right.
And we could also see it like on a global scale.
Exactly.
Like once shit hits the fan, like 9/11 or something,
Mm-hmm.
you saw the effects that come after. You know, I had a chicken parmesan so for breakfast.
Nice.
So
For breakfast.
well, okay, so I woke up at 1.
Okay, so
And I didn't even drink last night. I had a little bit, and I went to sleep at like after I edited Trilla's podcast, and I like went to sleep at like 12:31, and I woke up, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back to sleep, but let me just check my phone to see how long I can sleep for. Thinking it would be like 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock.
Nope.
No, it's 1. And I'm like, shit, I gotta get up. So I worked out and ate a chicken parmesan.
there you go.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I forgot what we were saying.
Wait.
Sorry,
What were we
just
saying?
distracted.
No, yeah, you were talking about like how society was after 9/11.
Oh yeah, because like that was obviously, I mean, we're from Jersey,
Mhm.
and we know people. Like my uncle was in the building next to it. Like my coach was supposed to for hockey was going like works in the World Trade Center.
Mhm.
His alarm didn't go off that morning, and he was late to work. He was on the bridge when it happened.
Really?
He quit Wall Street right then and there.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not happy enough in this life. Like, I'd rather be enjoying my life than all that stuff. But, like, we see in airports. Actually, dude, 9/11 probably wasn't the best example for this. Because I feel like that.
Almost like united the country.
It united it. It created. It's not patriotism. It's nationalism. Nationalism's the one where, like, we join up. Because I feel like we turned against, like, Muslims at that time.
Yeah.
You know, which wasn't great because like not all Muslims are terrorists.
Yeah.
And like I was watching did you ever watch the show What Would You Do?
No.
It was like an old show was it on ABC?
Yeah, now there's like spin-offs everywhere for
There's
it,
spin-offs now.
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it was like there was an episode where it was like this Muslim lady was at a bakery
Mhm.
and she was an actor.
Right.
And the other actor was behind the cashier register, and he was like, oh, I'm not serving you, like get out of here, like you towelhead, like saying all this shit.
Jesus.
Pretty much seeing like how the people would react around, and like some Americans were like, didn't say anything. Like the majority, I think it was 16 of them, didn't say anything, and then like I think it was like 6 agreed with the cashier. And like didn't help the lady, like, yeah, you can't be served here, like get out of here, like respected what the guy did. And like 8 or 10 of the Americans were like, you can't treat this lady like that. Everyone deserves respect. Like it doesn't matter what their race, their nationality, or where they came from, or how they're dressed is. Like you need to treat everyone with respect.
Right.
But I think it's just, I can't believe 16 people didn't say anything.
That's crazy.
And 6 agreed with this guy. Like it shows the bigotry that's still in this country. Like we think racism and sexism and whatever, all this other isms aren't here anymore, but they are, you know?
Was this like right after 9/11 that this?
I think it was like in 2005, it was like 2010 area, but still.
No, yeah, of course.
Like,
I think 9/11 is a good example.
Mhm.
Like based off what we're going through today.
Yeah.
It's like almost stuff that like, I mean, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like now today, like if that's something like that happened, it's like how does that happen? It's
Yeah.
like we adjusted. So like it's almost like we can't prepare for things like that, and it's much of the same today. And I think it's more based on like how you adjust and how you move forward.
Mm.
So I think like I think unity will come. It's just like how are we gonna come together and adjust and make the adjustments that we have to, so that we can prevent this from happening again.
Yeah.
I think So I think they're comparable.
I think that's a good way of putting it. Like we need to adapt,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Exactly.
Like the Darwin's evolution of isn't the strongest survive or the smartest survive. It's the ones that can adapt
Exactly.
that survive. We have to learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
We need, I mean, and that's not saying like, I'm not saying like we got to avoid the mistakes.
Mhm.
You know, obviously mistakes are inevitable.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna fuck up, but we have to. If we can't learn from them, that's where it starts to get tricky.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Shit.
I know. It's just like it's all about, you know, like obviously we couldn't really plan for something like this. So I think like, you know, how are we going to adjust and how are we going to be better?
Yeah, because we were lucky. Like this disease, this pandemic could have been way worse.
Mhm.
We're so lucky it wasn't deadly.
Yeah.
Like this disease could have been so much worse. Like imagine if this was like, I know it's not the same type of virus, but like, or whatever it is. Like,
Mhm.
but if it was Ebola that was so contagious,
Yeah.
what would we have done? We would have been fucked.
I don't think there's a way. Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, we're lucky because like it could, like you're right. It could have been so much worse. Like, is it good? No. Like,
Yeah.
But like, can we? The thing is like it's so easy to contract,
Yeah.
which is what makes it so dangerous, which is why where we are now. But if it was something like Ebola, like I don't think that's something that we could. Like, how do we beat that?
We've been
It's
dead.
dead. Yeah. Now we'd be
We'd
gone
really be dead.
right now.
But I think it showed, like you're so right, like it showed us our flaws.
Exactly.
Like it showed that we can't, like these governors and mayors and all this stuff, they were not prepared. Like they aren't trained to know what to do in a situation like this.
Yeah.
And like to give them all the power and be like, here you go. Now you control this entire state and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Everything will follow you. But how, that's so stupid. It's like they don't know what they're doing.
Mhm.
But I don't know how we like learn from that. I'm no politics guy. Like I don't fucking know.
Right.
I'm no science guy. I'm no Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How much does that guy actually know? That who knows?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I know. It's just like, yeah, it's something that we couldn't prepare for.
Yeah.
Like
But
a factory-made disease
Yeah.
in China.
that lab, like I think it's so unfortunate that like they obviously didn't release it to release it, you know, but
Mhm.
it was look up too because I know there's different sources. Like I was watching Rogan and the guy he had like a biology guy on or I don't fucking know,
Mhm.
a guy who knows
Science
this
guy.
stuff, science guy,
Yeah.
science nerd.
Mm-hmm.
He had a science nerd on, and they were pretty much. He was like, "Yeah, this doesn't develop in nature, you know."
Right.
And then Rogan was like pretty much crucified for saying this information. Everyone's like, "Oh, fake news, fake news, fake news!
Mhm.
You can't believe you're spreading this to 10 million people." And then it comes out.
We still don't know where it's like they don't know the origin 100%. So like
There's like different theories out there.
There's so many different theories. I'm so sold that I think it's okay. It started in Wuhan.
Yeah.
There's a level 4 lab in Wuhan.
Mm-hmm.
It's not man like my cousin disagrees with me on this. She's a doctor,
Okay.
but like there's other people that claim that like it can't be made in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't have been able to pass from like a bat to a human like that, and just the way it was developed. Like, and they worked on coronaviruses
Mhm.
in that lab, and we have video of this guy literally putting a box down where they think it could have spread from. Like, okay, it's not too far-fetched to say, hey, do we think, because there's a thing in philosophy, it's like you have to believe like the most simple hypothesis.
Mhm.
So it's like, what is the most simple thing? There's a level 4 lab
Yep.
where they worked on coronavirus.
Yeah.
It was man-made, or it couldn't have been made naturally, or it spread from a bat in soup.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, no, like
Come
I don't
on.
know, like there's no right. I know, but like I don't think we'll ever really know, just because there's so much we don't know about China. They're so
They
secretive.
hide it
They
from
hide
us.
everything.
They said the first case was like, when did it hit here? It was like January, February, March. They knew they had like their first outbreak like months before, and they didn't say anything.
Yeah,
They didn't say anything.
I think they, in the United States, I could be wrong with the date, but I'm pretty sure they tracked antibodies back to like fall of 2019.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or like December of 2019. I don't know.
I saw a similar, like, it showed like the spread of how it started, and like it was actually a really cool graphic because it started in Wuhan,
Mhm.
and you saw like over the months, like way before, how it started spreading throughout Wuhan,
Yeah.
and then people started traveling to different places in China, and then it grew, and then someone came to South Carolina where
Mhm.
there's another level 4 lab, whatever.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's where it started here. Okay, whatever. But I think it's in China. You're so right. They're very sketchy.
Yeah. They hide everything.
They hide.
We'll never really know.
What is their government run by? Like what?
It's the Central Communist or Chinese Communist Party. so
Chinese
CCP.
Communist Party. What is it?
CCP.
CCP.
And then Xi Jinping.
Dude, it's sketchy. Because like the people over there, it would be bad if they stopped being friends with us. You know, they stopped making our things. Like
Yeah. We'd be screwed.
we'd be so screwed.
They make everything.
That's why we're so under their thumb. They have the biggest consumer base in the world.
Exactly.
And that's why our media is controlled by them.
Mhm.
That's why our products are controlled by them. Literally, I think everything I'm wearing is probably from China.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure I'm as much the same.
Yeah, probably everything in this room is made in China.
Seriously, dude, they make everything.
It's scary, and they don't even like give their people like living wages.
Yeah. It's
And
crazy.
they like torture them. I don't get how their people like haven't. Well, I guess they are. Isn't that the stuff that? What are they arguing in Hong Kong? Is that because? I guess that's not.
Well, Hong Kong is like a separate province.
Yeah, that yeah, whatever. But I don't get how the people are not like revolting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like I don't get that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the U.S. is like not doing a lot of digging because of the consumer base over there. Like they make so much for us, and like we can't screw this up.
Yeah. Didn't they just make their own currency too?
It's a yeah, they're inventing like a complete digital currency. It's called like it's like the yuan or something like
The
that.
euro, complete digital currency. But then there's also I saw it was like we can't if we do go crypto, which I think we're going,
Mhm.
we don't have the energy to support it
Really?
because it takes like a lot of power because it's all digital. So
Yeah.
the mining takes like a lot of power.
Mhm.
Like if my buddy, he was like into this stuff, like wanted to bring it at his school and start like making a computer that would mine cryptocurrencies there.
Mhm.
It would like use the entire campus's power.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a shit ton of power.
Wow.
So it's like, if they're doing this, we need to change our power source.
Yeah.
Because we can't keep using oil and electric. That's why, oh my gosh, these electric cars. Aye, buddy, where do you think that fucking electricity's coming from?
Exactly.
You still plug it into the wall.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a different place. So stupid. If we actually want to fix our power crisis, we need to change the type of power that we're using.
Yeah.
Like, we can't keep using oil. We need either renewable energy, which I still don't even think is the most efficient way to do it because it's not. Like, solar panels, they only take like 30%.
Yeah.
And windmills, they're huge to make. Like, look at what it takes to make windmills. It fucks up the environment,
I know.
everything around. Like, I think hydropower, Trillo was talking about nuclear fission. He said could be the future. I don't know how,
Yeah.
I haven't
know
really
about
looked
that.
into nuclear fission. But, like, I do think Nikola Tesla was onto something back in the day
Mhm.
before Einstein got the grant and we went all wires. But his thing was like wireless. He was sending, and they just did it too. So they just, the scientists, I forgot where they were from. I forgot about this. These scientists sent energy through waves.
What?
Like, it's crazy. And
Really?
yeah, so they sent it. And that's like, that little thing, I don't know where it's from. They sent it from like 2 labs. And it only lost like a little bit of its stuff. But like, fuck. Can you look that up? What it's the energy through air, or like energy through waves. And it's crazy. Because if we can figure out a way to send, I don't know, it was huge. It was like it could change the way we could do power forever. And that's really what Tesla was like looking into, and what his whole thing. Because he said there's like this all this energy around our Earth that we could tap into and really have unlimited energy. We just need to find a way to tap into it.
That's crazy.
And then he just like disappears mysteriously.
Like everyone else.
Yeah, right? I wonder where he went.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. That guy was a smart motherfucker.
Yeah, you're talking about like the Wardenclyffe Tower, which is like that giant tower that Tesla built to try to like get electricity through the air.
The Wardenclyffe Tower. Yeah, that dude.
Way ahead of his time.
He was. He
Way
really
ahead of his
was.
time.
And I don't know why they chose Einstein to give the grants to instead of Tesla. Because that's when they were looking for like someone to invest in pretty much.
Right.
And they went with Einstein, which was all wired, which what we run on now.
Exactly.
And look where that got us. Oh, this is why someone told me this. Because I asked this question and someone was just like, oh, this is why. It was because it was cheaper.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's why.
Not the
cheaper.
right way to do it, but the cheaper way.
Yeah. It's cheaper. Dude, how bullshit is that?
No, I know.
Oh my gosh. And we wonder how we like dig ourselves into fucking holes because we cut corners.
Imagine where we'd be right now if we went with Tesla.
Dude, I don't know. Probably like...
We wouldn't have this issue, I don't think.
Probably not. That's why we can't, like in anyone's life, in our lives, in anything we do, from small things to big things, when we cut corners and we cheat ourselves, like when you cheat on a test, like you're not helping yourself.
No.
Like you're helping in the short term to get yourself by, but in the long term, you didn't learn anything. Like you didn't learn the information. When you cut corners for making a building, you go with the cheap stuff, you don't do everything, you don't do the measurements, the building's gonna fall down.
Exactly.
Like,
no, you're right.
You see it everywhere, but it does take that extra work. Oh my gosh. Our freaking past generations really screwed us over.
Bro, I know.
Now we're here.
Now we're here. Pandemic.
Power.
It's an issue.
Environment. Poopy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
It all sucks.
It does.
I know.
We're really falling apart.
We really are.
It's so hard sometimes to have hope, but like we do need it.
I know.
Like we need hope.
I think once we get out of where we're at right now, I feel like there's gonna be a big upswing for us as a country.
Yeah.
Like I can see it. And like obviously it's a shit time right now, but I think, you know, in this short period of time I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll take time. It'll take work. And I hope we don't cut corners and we actually do what's right and moral and it helps for generations to come.
That's how it should be done.
It should be. I think there's a nice thing, like my priest was talking to me about. It was like the dark, the evil doesn't understand how like the light keeps pursuing, you know? He said it so nicely. But it's pretty much like the light will always shine through. Like the dark will defeat, like consume, but the light keeps shining on.
Exactly.
You know, it keeps coming back and evil doesn't understand how.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't get it, but it's just, that's where evil can always be beaten by good.
Yeah.
It'll always keep coming back. Yeah.
Exactly.
But right now it seems like we're in a dark place and we need more light.
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
I know. It's coming to an end, I think. I hope.
I hope so too. Unless we get in a fight with Russia and China.
Yeah, no,
and North Korea.
We're screwed. World War III.
And Israel.
Yeah. Not looking good right now.
Or I guess Israel would be on our side, but not, fuck. Do you know anything about Israel?
Not much.
That's an interesting place.
Yeah.
No, my friend was trying to explain it to me yesterday. I feel like I gotta get more, like, all I know is that they're battling, because it's like Jerusalem, like the Holy Land, and it was promised to the Jews by God.
Yeah.
But then there's like, is it the Muslims?
It's Palestine. It's like the Israeli-Palestine conflict.
Israeli-Palestine, I don't know. It's interesting. And I think, didn't we just put an embassy there or something, like the U.S.? Didn't Trump just put something in there to like, pretty much like push on end times?
Trump was good to Israel, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he that's the whole thing. Like he put something there, pretty much saying it was Israel's, or like the Jews.
Right.
Which, like obviously the other side doesn't like.
Yeah.
Because it like, he promoted it as like a capital or something. Is that what he did? I don't know. He did something. But what it did, I don't know what it is. Look into it. Fuck you.
Well.
Not you. I'm just
I know.
the people.
They're doing a great job vaccinating though.
Are they in Israel? Vaccinations.
What are they at right now?
Like they were at like 50% like a while ago.
Really? Good job, Israel.
Wow.
Yeah, I would love to go to Israel.
Me too.
Right? It would be cool. Like there's some Jew in me.
Yeah.
On one side.
Not in me. I'd still love to go though.
Now, you know, like on the, what is it called? Like you can go on, like Jewish people can go on. Birthright, yeah. So I'd try to like go on Birthright.
Yeah, you probably could.
Right?
Or like we could go. I was talking to like Hirschman about this. Like he could be like a director or something like that, and like he could bring whoever he wants.
That'd be so much fun.
I would totally go.
I would go with it.
Yeah, it seems everyone that's gone, like
Yeah.
it looks like they have like a good time.
Yeah, they definitely enjoy it. The place is so like rich in history.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It seems very cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, I want to learn more about that. I need to learn more about the world.
Me too. I don't know enough about other countries and stuff like that.
I don't either.
I know it's important to know though.
It is.
I know.
I feel like all other countries like know about the U.S. though,
Yeah,
and we just don't know about anything.
I know,
else.
right? It's kind of it's kind of scary, and like we need to. Like, there's a ton of shit going on in Syria right now.
Yeah.
I don't know a damn thing about Syria.
Yeah. I don't either.
Or it's like bombings and stuff like that. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, I don't get why we did that. Do you understand why we did
I
that?
don't get it either. I know I didn't want that to happen when I voted for Biden, though.
Yeah, that's not what you want from Biden in the
No.
first few. That's not what he ran for. That's the whole thing that, like, I was worried about to start. It's like, okay, these politicians, Syracuse University, all these big organizations,
Yeah.
they just do things for image. They say what they need to say, what they know would get people to vote for them.
Cutting corners.
Cutting corners, yeah. They're really just doing the shit to get people to vote for him and to
Yeah.
keep them in power. Like, and then didn't like Biden like piss on Trump for doing all these executive orders, and then he just like completely doubles them and does like 43
Yeah,
or some shit
he
on
did,
like
like-
the first.
The first day.
And then I don't even know what they are.
Neither do I. But I know he had like I think 40 plus like executive orders on
Yeah.
like day 1 or 2. It's crazy.
And what was the thing he was like shitting on Trump for like the cages or whatever?
Yeah, with what was it? Like border patrol and stuff like that.
And then he was like, "Oh, you're telling me about it," and then it's just the same. Like they've released pictures,
Yeah, it's always happened.
and it's just
Yeah.
the same things going on, and he's like,
but it's all
and he's not changing it.
No,
Like he
not,
said
yeah.
he would,
I
and
know.
he's not doing anything about it.
But like all past presidents are full of some kind of empty
Yeah.
promises. Like it's just
It's to get elected,
yep.
and that doesn't help anyone.
No. It's like paint the best image of yourself so you can do what you want once you're finally in.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter if people agree with you or not.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
because once you're there, it's like I'm here for 4 years. I'm in power.
Exactly.
I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Even if it's not. I'm skeptical. I still think he seems very puppety to me.
Biden?
Yeah. I don't know. I have nothing to back that up. He just seems like puppet to me.
I don't know. I don't know. I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine too. But I don't think like his inauguration speech was all about unity,
Mhm.
bringing this country together. I'm like, let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah, but again,
What
it's
has
like-
changed?
Yeah, no, it's all about what the people want to hear.
Yeah, and that's what we needed to hear, and that's what we actually needed. But
Yeah.
there's nothing.
No, I
And
know.
you see that Q's too.
Yeah.
You see it at Q's. I saw it at my high school.
Mhm.
They just say shit. Like,
Yeah.
they literally just say shit to say shit and get people off their back, but they don't actually do the change.
It's for the good PR.
Oh, it is for the PR. I hate PR. I'm sorry, Clements.
I'm advertising now.
Oh, you switched?
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's all they go for.
Yeah.
Is the good PR.
When'd you switch?
Over break.
Oh, nice. Congrats. Yeah, but I was reading in my textbooks. I'm taking a production class for my major that I have to. It's like the business side of stuff, and we're
Mhm.
learning about advertising and PR, and like PR is sneaky. When people think about like scumbags, like advertising, they usually think of ads, right?
Or lawyers.
Or lawyers, like all this stuff. But PR is sneakily scummy because
Yeah.
PR is the same thing as advertising, but you don't know it's advertising.
Mhm.
So PR could be, say, we make a deal. Like, okay, this is good. This is scary, not good.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say it's good. So a company, say, what company what do we want to do?
Apple.
Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say Apple. Let's do a medicine, sorry.
Alright.
This medicine company.
Okay.
They could give. You know what? Apple is a good example. we can look at it for anything. It doesn't really matter the example.
Yeah.
But so say Apple has a new, I don't know, cock ring that they're releasing.
Yeah.
It shows how much blood's flowing to your boner
Yeah.
and whatever. So they get a picture, they make a story on it, they have someone write a little article on this cock ring.
Yeah.
So advanced, so great. And they give it to this news source.
Mhm.
And they're like, here you go. The news source releases it as a story.
Right.
Because of efficiency, because like I was saying before, they're on deadlines. They have all this stuff. They have to get a story out.
Yep.
So they take this information from these companies and they like give them, here's your story. And they just put it out because they're like, hey, it's interesting enough.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. But they don't have to say it was from this company.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And like obviously the company's not gonna say, hey, the cock ring blows up, maybe your pee-pee will fall off.
Yeah.
You know? Like they don't say the bad stuff like an investigative journalist would find.
Yeah.
They only say the good stuff. And we see that everywhere, like in product placement, like all this stuff is big. And even for like when a politician, they use PR too. Everyone has PR.
Oh yeah.
When they give speeches and stuff and like press releases, PR people are smart. So they know news sources are only going to pick up on the stuff that's interesting.
Yeah.
So they could say all their stuff in their PR that's important, like that isn't a head or that won't catch headlines, you know, and then say something obscure because they know all the news people are going to catch it,
Right.
and that's going to be the headline.
Yeah.
And that's what they do because they're smart people.
Yeah.
They're manipulating because they understand the media. Like PR people are usually like from the top firms are like journalists, like ex-journalists, because they know how journalism works and they know what they're going to take.
Yeah.
So they use that to reverse fuck it to give them the people what they need to hear.
I know.
It's sketchy.
It is
It's
very
sketchy.
It really is.
It's bad. I don't know what to do about that. Because like with PR, the whole thing is like you don't know when you're being advertised to, and what this when is real information. What is this information that's coming from a source that wants you to know? And it happens everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's all money based. It's literally all to make money,
Yep. I know.
or to save perspective or power.
Yeah. It's all about the money and your perception of the people. You know.
Yeah. How do you think? How do we get away from that? Like, how do we get away from a money consumerism based world?
I don't know if you can you.
I hope so. We have to if we want to make any change in this
I
world.
know, but like what we said before is like money is power.
Yeah.
And like even now more than ever, like, we see it. Like I don't know how the little person beats the big person.
Yeah.
With the money, I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
You know.
That just reminded me of David and Goliath. You know that story?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, that's the most badass biblical
So
story
badass. I
of all
know.
time.
Yeah.
This guy, David, King David, is like this big. Oh my gosh, he's like, they're like, we need someone to fight this guy, this big massive mofo. And he's like, yo, I'll do it. And everyone's like, nah, dude, you're a little bitch.
Yeah.
It's like you can't do it. He's like, cause the whole thing, like Goliath, was like blasphemy, like talking out against God and all this other stuff. He's like, if this guy is not on God's side, like he's got nothing.
Exactly.
So he comes out with this little slingshot,
Yep.
takes that motherfucker down.
Yeah.
So badass. And then he cuts his head off and puts it on a stake and like raises it up.
Crazy.
We don't hear about the head cutting off part. That part's so sick.
I know.
But it's, I think I don't know. It kind of just came to me. I haven't really thought about this too much. But like, I really do think if people can like shift away from like these false, I always say false idols, like, and we can actually focus on love and respect for each other. Because I do think everything's one. Like, we're all one. Like one consciousness, one. Whoop whoop. That's the sound of the police. Or fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I need to look into it more reasons why we're one consciousness, but it makes sense. Philosophers in the past have argued for it, but I'm not very well versed in it. But I do think we're all one, and once we start to see that, like some people say, like if you want to discover the world, like you have to look within, you know?
Yeah.
Which is true. Like I think we've talked about in the past, like we need to start looking within ourselves to find love and happiness. Like we can't look for money and power to think that's going to bring us happiness, because it won't. It will bring us short-term shit, like all this other stuff. But like if we actually want to find happiness and peace, like we have to look within. And it sounds so cheesy, but like it's true.
Very true.
We need self-peace.
I know.
We need to find it.
It's tough.
It is difficult.
I know, especially because we're so divided today.
Yeah.
Like today, I feel like we're not all one.
Yeah.
It's just and we are ruled by money, and today money is power, but like you look in the past and it is like that. Like money wasn't power, and that's where we were at our best, you know. And you know we were. It's so much different now. You see how money ruins things.
Yeah.
Like money isn't everything.
It's not.
No,
It's really not.
it's not.
But like that shit like that, I really think it is. And like I used to, I need to get back on it. But school, like everyone, this is why it's so hard.
Mhm.
Like we were talking at the beginning, like mental health is so important too. But when we get caught up, everyone has life. You
Mhm.
know, people don't have time. People are working. Like we have school.
Yeah.
Like how am I supposed to meditate every day?
Mhm.
Like I used to do it at home because I had time.
Right.
But now it's here. Like I haven't done it at all, and it sucks. And I can feel it mentally how I unwind when I'm not.
Mhm.
But I feel like that's why we need to be taught at a young age, when our minds are malleable and can learn different languages.
Yup.
That to teach us how to have a sound mind
Mhm.
and a sound body.
Yeah.
Dude, it's kind of funny. That's really what our fraternity is like, are based off of. It's like sound mind, sound body. And like the more I learn about like life, it's the more it makes sense. Because you can't have a sound mind if your body's shit.
Mhm.
And you can't have a sound body if your mind's shit. I guess you can have a sound body,
Yeah.
but like you need both to even each other out.
No, of course. And like, yeah, no, mental health is like so important. Like we see it firsthand. Like we've talked
Yeah.
about it. We've all talked about it.
Yeah.
We all see it firsthand. Like it's so important. Like you can't go about your everyday life if you're not there
Yeah.
upstairs. You know.
Yeah, no, I definitely know. Like I've been in the shitter. My head is, I like the Tyler Childers. My mind's a mile a minute. My thoughts, they bark like hounds.
Yep.
And it's like, it's true. Like, but I've come such a long way. Like I just got I'm 2 weeks into these fucking pills. And dude, this is why I was pissed about the pills, cause like I was telling you, I was so like into all this mind stuff. Like our mind's powerful, and it for me, like I feel like I'm cutting a corner by taking them, and I still do.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really don't know if that's the right answer, because I'm not meditating. I'm not doing these things that could be helping me.
So what are they like, anxiety pills?
They're anxiety and depression. What are they called?
Lexapro.
Lexapro?
Lexapro, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm on Lexapro. So I do feel like it's 2 weeks in now, like 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Like I do feel the effects, like, but I don't know, because I would get in depressed states, and I've suffered with anxiety my entire life since I was like a young kid, from as long as I can remember. Like it's always been there. So I don't know. But like recently, like it just keeps, because when you don't, like I like the laundry example.
Mhm.
Like my room can represent how my head's feeling, because when my room's clean,
Mhm.
like that's how my head's feeling. But
Right.
when it's clothes are scattered,
Mhm.
all this shit, it's like not my focus, because like I'm falling. Like how am I supposed to keep my room clean when my mind's a mess?
Right.
And it's like when you let your clothes gather up and pile up,
Mhm.
like it's gonna take a lot more work to get it off rather than just like hanging it up
Of course.
each
yeah.
day. So that example is like, you have to work on this stuff every single day.
Mhm.
But like for years and years, like it piles up and it piles up, and you
Of
get to a
course.
certain point where it's like, I can't, like I'm a wreck, like I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point I was reaching, and I'm like, I need to make a change. So that's when I talked to this guy, and my brother and my mom made me talk to him,
Right.
because I was very against it, and
Yeah.
we had a yelling match until I'm like, fine, fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
Nah, me too.
Take
Like,
it.
yeah, I talked to someone for a little bit earlier this year, and like, he basically said like, do you want to go on pills? I'm like, no. And like, obviously it's an opinion thing.
Yeah.
But like, my whole thing was like, I don't want a medication to change the way I feel. Like
Yeah.
that's almost scarier to me than the actual feeling of anxiety
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I have other outlets for it too. Like like I work out. Like that's an outlet for me.
Yeah.
And listen to music. And like sometimes like that gets it done. Sometimes it doesn't. But like yeah, no, medication scares me though.
Yeah, it scares me too, and I'm on
Is that what it does? Like, does it completely change the way you feel?
it. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't. I'm still new on it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like I feel like me.
Yeah.
It just feels like I act differently in different situations.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
maybe something in the past that usually I don't know. I'm not sure if this is true, but like it kind of helps rewire your brain. You know, because like we were talking about like your brain, like if I don't know what I think it was Silva I was talking about. You know, it's like our brain. There's like paths, that our brain takes. Like, say, because you know how it takes like 3 weeks to get in a pattern or something.
Yeah.
Or if you want to do something, you have to do it for 3 weeks every single day, and then it gets in a pattern.
Right.
But because it carves a pathway in your brain, like the whatever the fuck it is, the neurons or whatever is firing actually has a certain path.
Right.
So I think this may like for anxiety and stuff, like something that would trip you up or make me overthink something. Like that path's always there. So if that something happens, like someone says something to me, like I don't know, to make me think or put me in a spiral, like that's always gonna happen.
Yeah.
And this medicine kind of stops it in its tracks and kind of helps you like change that path, I guess, if that makes sense. So it doesn't really change my feelings, like, cause you still feel like shit some days.
Yeah.
Like you still feel bad.
Of course.
But it just like changes the way you can react in situations, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does.
But I think you could also do that, like, cause I'm not even in therapy. I should be, because I think you could change that, like, I don't know, it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could change mine in like psychotherapy too, because that's what that's all about. It's like changing the way you think.
Right.
Because the way you think, like we're all accountable for the way we think. You know, obviously when we're growing up, that's what shapes the way we think.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're told as a child like you're worthless, like you're gonna grow up like that, and then that's gonna be the way your mind works, and that's how you're gonna feel.
Right.
But that's not true. And when we get to a certain age, it's like we have the ability to make this change and change the way our minds work.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I really don't know how I feel about this. Like I don't want to be on medicine for the rest of my life.
No, you can't.
You can't.
No.
So I think I'm gonna probably do it next year while I'm president.
Yeah.
Because like I think it's a good time to be on
Yeah.
anxiety
No,
pills.
trust
like
me.
you know.
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't know how you dealt with this year.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's definitely tough.
Yeah. But it's important to keep our mentals like healthy.
100%.
But would you think about going on medicine? Are you still talking to someone?
No. So I stopped talking to him. I talked to him for maybe like a month, and it was like kind of like he gave me some like good tips.
Yeah.
On like how to cope with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like that was all I needed.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I still have days where like I'm in the shitter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely helps. Especially like, it helped me a lot. Like coming into a year where I had such a big responsibility, and like having to deal with like the pandemic and the risk of doing things here.
Being a president of a fraternity.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot,
Yeah.
especially like at a campus that's so run by Greek life.
Yeah.
And like the consequences for even getting caught, it's like something I was like I'm not prepared for this.
Yeah.
So like, that was like, it definitely didn't help it.
Yeah.
But the therapy does help. Like just having someone like to just literally just say everything to and just get it out to is like is relieving in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And like he just kind of gave me tips on like when you feel this way, like try and think like this. It's like it's basically alternative thinking, and that was almost enough for me. And like I kind of felt like I could just deal with it in my own ways.
Yeah.
Like once I kind of got the grasp of a whole new thing this year and the responsibility and all that, I feel like it kind of brought that this year kind of brought back the anxiety and that stuff from the past. But yeah, no, I've been dealing with it, and it's you have your days,
Yeah.
So it's
It's a work.
go day by day.
It is a work. I
Yeah.
think therapy is really important. Like having someone to talk to
Yeah.
about how you feel that
sure.
actually is knowledgeable
Mhm.
in that stuff and can be like, hey, maybe you should try this or do this. And I think it's nice. Like, I feel like I definitely need to get one. Like, I need to get on that. But it's so hard. Like, when do we have time at school to do
it's
this
so
stuff?
tough. It's so tough. And it's so different over Zoom too.
Yeah.
Like, I'd so much rather meet someone in person.
Right.
Yeah. It's like just completely different.
Yeah.
It's a completely different interaction. So.
But maybe, I think this all ties in, like, how we could shift for money. You know, because, like, if people are sound in the head, you know, and understand themselves and love themselves, which is harder than it sounds, you know, because if you have self-love and you believe everything is one, like, your self-love is love for another too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it should be enough.
Yeah.
It should be enough.
We are enough. And that's the thing, like, that I like about religion. It's like, you are enough. Like, no matter who you are, what you do, where you are in life, you are always enough.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, really, really powerful.
100%.
You know, it doesn't matter. You're enough as is. It doesn't matter your accomplishments, the honors you have, what you've done, what you plan to do. You are always enough. Just being here is enough. You know, and I think because a lot of people try to fill that hole in them with money and power, thinking this is what I need to be happy. Like, this is what I need.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not what we need.
No, not even close.
Yeah, and we really just need that love. I really do believe that. And, like, and that's what I really think the future is for hope. Like, we need to conquer our minds. Not conquer, just, I don't know what the right word for it is, but be one with our minds. Because, like, the whole thing for meditation, it's not silencing the thoughts in your head.
Right.
You know, it's letting them pass like a car on the highway. You know, you notice them. You're like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You see them go by.
Yeah.
You don't get caught up on them.
Right.
You don't jump in front of it. You don't get hit by it. You let it pass. You know, find that peace, the presentness, being here now. There's something beautiful to the now, to the present, because it's the only time we have, really. You know?
Regardless of the situation you're in.
Yeah. I think it's nice. There's the book that I'm not even reading the real book. It's like the fake book. It's like The Power of Now, it's called. And it was like, shit. It flew by. Oh, yeah. It was like, when you get caught up in those times where it's like, I mean, I've done it. We've probably all done it. Like, you get caught up in the past, something you've said, something you've done, or something in the future, like, that you're worried about. It's like, take a step back. Right now, in this very moment, are there any problems? You know?
Right.
Like, no.
No, that's like, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And like, that ties back to mental health. Like, right now, where you are right now.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem? And it's nothing. Like, most of the time, it's like the what ifs, you know?
Yeah. And it's a hard habit to break, though.
Of course.
It really is. But it's something, I think, it's been so stigmatized in the past.
I agree.
And I think that's so stupid. Like, why can't we talk about our mental states? I feel like they're more important, just as important, if not more important than our physical states, you know?
Right.
Like a broken bone, what's the difference than a broken way you think?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And like, even today, there's still people who are, you know, scared to talk about their mental health.
Yeah.
Because it almost makes you feel like weak.
Yeah.
And like, for me too, like, I was the same way. I didn't talk about it for a long time. And kind of, it was like a battle between myself and my mind. It just can't be that way.
Yeah.
You know?
We need help.
Yeah, 100%.
We need help. And that's why it's nice, like, being in our fraternity, because we have people that actually care about each other.
100%.
And, like, will support each other and won't judge. Because that's another thing. We're all scared to judge.
Yeah.
Like, of judgment. Like, I feel like that's a big place of fear. But, like, I really do think when there's love there is no judgment. You know, because it doesn't matter. You just want the other person to be happy.
Exactly.
Which is nice. And that's why I love our house so much.
I know.
Damn it. And I'm like, that's why I was like, why am I being present? Like, why am I going to do this to myself? And, like, this kind of just reminded me, like, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because I love our house. I love all the people in it.
I know.
Let's go. Let's find that love.
Yeah.
But, all right. I think that's a nice place to end.
Here we go.
You enjoyed it? Thanks for
Lovely.
coming on. I really
It was
appreciate
awesome. Happy to be here.
it. Yeah, happy to have you.
It was awesome.
Go Mets.
Go Mets.
Peace. That's fun.